Hello, good evening. The Duke of Edinburgh is recovering after being involved in a road accident near the Sandringham estate in Norfolk. Buckingham Palace say he was not hurt and that he was able to walk away from the crash. It's thought he may have been travelling with close protection officers. Well, this happened near the royal family's Sandringham estate on the A149 near the village of West Newton. Our correspondent Sophie Long has all the latest.
Cars being taken away after an accident on the A149 at West Newton in Norfolk to the Sandringham estate. The BBC has received this picture, which is believed to show the immediate aftermath of the crash. Prince Philip was driving the Range Rover, seen lying upturned on its side after a collision with another car. An eyewitness told the BBC they saw Prince Philip emerge looking shaken but able to walk to another vehicle which took him away from the scene. The Duke of Edinburgh has rarely been seen in recent months, having finally retired from official duties in August of 2017 at the age of 96. He was last seen in public at his granddaughter Eugenie's wedding to Jack Brooksbank in October. That was the second royal wedding he attended last year. There had been fears he wouldn't make the wedding of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, having undergone surgery for a new hip just weeks before. But he was there and walked unaided into St George's Chapel at Windsor Castle. Throughout his life, he's been a keen sportsman and remains fiercely independent. Despite being just months short of his 98th birthday, he's still often seen driving around the Sandringham estate. Sophie Long, BBC News.
Well, a statement was issued by Buckingham Palace this evening. A spokeswoman confirmed that the Duke was driving when the accident happened, and she added he saw a doctor as a precaution, and the doctor confirmed that he was not injured. The spokeswoman wouldn't comment on who Philip's passenger was, but it's likely the Duke was travelling with one of the officers on protection duty. Well, we can speak now to our correspondent Sarah Campbell, who's outside Buckingham Palace for us now. So, Sarah, an accident in which, thankfully, the Duke of Edinburgh walked away. We're told he's uninjured. 2 other people have suffered minor injuries. So a contained incident, but it will raise questions, won't it, about the Duke of Edinburgh and his lifestyle.
Well, indeed. I mean, I think when the statement was first released saying that he was uninjured, I mean, clearly that was a huge relief to many people, understanding that the 97-year-old prince had been involved in an accident. But then when you see the pictures of the aftermath of the accident and the damage to that Range Rover and to the other car involved, it's certainly clear that this was an incident of some magnitude. It certainly must have been quite frightening to have been involved with. And as we know from an eyewitness who was there, who they say that they helped the Duke out of the car. He was conscious but very, very shocked, able to walk though. We've been having witnesses getting in touch with the BBC throughout the day. We have another one who drove past the crash scene at around 3:40. She said that she saw lots of blue flashing lights ahead. I saw a black 4x4 type car on its side, and me and my son were like, oh my word, that doesn't look good. Obviously it looked quite smashed in. I'm quite amazed the Duke is okay actually. And looking at those pictures, I'm sure that's a sentiment that many other people could agree with. Another one, we've got Nick Cobb, who's a long-time Babingley resident. Babingley, I should say, is a small village which is just near the Sandringham estate, a very small village, and that's the A149, which is a major road that goes through that area. This gentleman, Mr. Cobb, says the Range Rover was on its side on a private road. The other car was well into a hedge on the opposite side. There was lots of debris in the road, lots of glass and lots of other cars, some police cars, some from the Sandringham estate. So clearly some surprise from people that saw it, that it doesn't seem to be that anybody involved had any serious injury. Certainly the Duke, according to the palace, was seen by a doctor, and that doctor did confirm that he did not suffer serious injuries, that he was uninjured, in fact, according to the police, according to the statement. And these 2 other people in the other vehicle, again, suffered minor injuries. Where do we go next? Well, Norfolk police clearly were involved. They would be involved with any kind of road traffic accident of this size. One would also expect that there will be an investigation now to find out, what exactly happened, whose fault it was. That investigation will no doubt be underway. You started there by saying that there will lead to questions about the Duke's lifestyle. Certainly on social media this evening, there are people questioning whether a man of his age, he's 97, he will be 98 in June, whether he should be driving on public roads. I mean, the law as it stands at the moment, according to the DVLA, people over the age of 70 must renew their driving licence and reapply every 3 years. Presumably, if one is fit and well, as at any age, one is able to continue driving. And certainly for his age, he is 97, he is a man who is fit and well as far as we're aware for his age, certainly more fit and healthy than many other much younger people. But as I say, there will be questions about whether it's advisable that he was driving on public roads. But certainly in the news this evening, the Duke was driving a car, it was involved in an accident, and he is uninjured.
Sarah, for the moment, many thanks. Our royal correspondent, Sarah Campbell there. Well, a short time ago, I spoke to the royal biographer Hugo Vickers, and I asked him for his thoughts on the accident.
Well, first of all, obviously, very glad to hear that he's all right. But secondly, of course, any kind of car accident at the age of 97 is likely to produce shock, which is not a good thing. And of course, if he was indeed at the wheel, he might well be told now that it's time to call it a day, and he would be very sensible about that, obviously, because he's a very wise man. But I mean, that would be a great sort of infringement of his independence, which he won't like. So it's not good news either way, really.
You say that he would take such advice as
yes.
a sensible person. He is also, as Nicholas Witchell was saying, quite a determined character, though, and one assumes that driving has been part of, part of his life.
Well, it certainly has, but just to remember that some years ago he gave up flying planes long before he needed to, because he was scared that if something happened there would be a lot of criticism. Why was he at the age of 55 still flying a plane when he should have retired at, as it were, 48 or something like that? So he does listen to these things. He's very, very sensible. And of course, if anyone's involved in a car accident, and it's quite a frightening thing, and if he thought that he'd lost concentration or something, or hadn't seen somebody, he would realise that he's not up to it anymore. So that would be another reason why he would stop.
Hugo Vickers speaking to me a little earlier. Now, a new date